in Venezuela, savings accounts are not an alternative anymore. That the bank's account doesn't even open savings account anymore. Credit cards have disappeared in Venezuela. When you said that you can actually earn a 7% again, like some banks did years ago, many years ago, people get excited and say, "Oh, I want to know about this." Most of the population actually earns about $5 monthly as a wage, as a salary. The truth is that you could earn a few cents more, and those few cents are a salvation, maybe. This staking things was, as I said, an amazing feature in Venezuela.
Hmm.
Many people want to know about this.
Hey everyone, I have the fantastic pleasure of speaking with the one and only Giorgio Marinetti of Dash Help. How's it going?
How are you, Joel?
I'm
Thank you for
doing,
having me.
yeah, I'm doing very well. It's first for some clarifications on what you do and what you guys do. You run Dash Help, which formerly was known as Dash Help Venezuela. It is based in Venezuela, but it's now an international project. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. We are actually kind of growing and expanding our barriers since uh, I, I think we have to actually go further in this clarification and explain how this project came out because this arose about 2018 when Dash Venezuela was a big thing in Venezuela, and therefore Dash Help was like the support center, just technical support, not much else we did
Hmm.
in that moment because we had enough job with that amount of people just being recently aware of this cryptocurrency, this digital money thing that was so hard to understand for many people. So we had plenty of work at the time, but then the needs changed. And as the needs changed, we had to change, to evolve, to become what Dash Help is right now. I don't know if you want me to explain this a bit more, or if you want to start with maybe some particular question.
Yeah, just basically, what is the scope of what Dash Help does today? Like, what kinds of different things?
Yeah. So as I said, in theory, and only in theory, Dash Help was born like 2.5 years ago as this particular support center to offer just technical support on Dash users and pretty much anything about its daily use. I mean, the wallets, how to exchange, all this stuff, this basic stuff we know many people have issues with at the beginning. But after a short time, we actually realized that the adoption of cryptocurrencies went much further and that it actually required a lot of effort and a lot of dedication from everyone in so many areas, such as marketing, for which I have to mention that I was really terrible
Mm.
in the beginnings. So what can I say? I'm a software developer, so I may not have the most sociable personality in the world,
Hmm.
but well, also we had to improve in business development, in software development, and many other areas that the population needed at the moment, and that actually are the main focus right now. And that's why we are now evolved. We have changed to actually carry out a more complex process. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
of education, adoption, growth, and mainly we are on a process of demystification of the cryptocurrencies, particularly Dash, of course, as digital money, not
Yeah.
as this dark shadow, dark monster we don't know anything about that's on the internet, and that weird thing that doesn't allow me to deposit my money in the bank account. That's the feeling we still perceive from the common denominator of the population. So it implies working on all fronts, and that's why both personally and as a project, financed obviously by the Dash DAO, we have developed some other partnerships with, in example, Dash Text. You had the pleasure to talk with his CEO and founder, Lorenzo Reid, last week, and Dash Brazil, just to mention some of it, Dash Retail, Dash Nation, Dash News Italia, and even Dash Mall and Parking here in Venezuela. And this actually gave us this international concept, this international phase, and we had to obviously change from just Dash Venezuela to Dash Help Support Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
Support Center. I'm sorry, Dash Help Support Center, to actually serve all these new needs. And well, that I think that's pretty much it. That's the reason why we had to change. And right now we have become, I want to believe, I hope to be able to say it someday, that Dash Help is the hub of information, the hub of educative content
Mm-hmm.
for Dash and for cryptos in Spanish, because many people doesn't actually know this, because English is a worldwide language, and
Yeah.
pretty much everybody knows that if you don't speak English, you can't communicate with many people, and you can't do business actually internationally speaking. But the truth is that there are over 800 million people speaking Spanish only. And if we want to Dash to become actually an asset for Spanish speaking audience, Spanish speaking users, we need to give them the content, the documentation in Spanish. They don't have to translate all the concepts.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to go ask maybe Google Translator, or maybe to the friend who speaks English to translate this. They just want to receive the documents in Spanish. That's the,
Yeah.
in my opinion, that was one of the main issues at the beginning, that people didn't know that existed some documents, a few at least, in Spanish. And right now we have developed a lot of new content in Spanish, and I think this is our main focus. We are in Venezuela because I know the community, the Dash community in particular, knows and feels that Venezuela is one of the greatest market for Dash around the world, due to pretty much many phenomena, but the main one is the broken economy in which we live here.
Mm-hmm.
and and this is not a population that mainly speak English, and it's not used to have to speak other languages to get what they need, because the Spanish here is the main language, and there's not it doesn't exist an interest to learn others, so
Yeah. That
we
makes
needed
sense.
to do this.
I
Yeah.
notice I notice that depending on different areas. So, for example, the Central European countries, the German-speaking countries, and Norwegian, Scandinavia, tend to be very English friendly. If you don't, if whatever you have is only in English, that works. But then a lot of Latin-based languages like Italian and French and Spanish, it tends the people that live there tend to be much more focused on just their language. And so if you want to reach those people, you need to have a little bit of a wider base, and especially considering that giant demographic bomb, as I call it, of basically a huge chunk of the world is primarily speak Spanish, and so it's very very important. So now, when you're talking about the situation in Venezuela, because obviously, I mean that's where you guys are based, and it's a country that's been in the cryptocurrency world has been fairly or unfairly, I would probably say unfairly, used as like a pawn, as a tool where people try to say that it's the example of this works for poor people. That's kind of like the general example. And if people try to compete over, no, we have more use in Venezuela, no, we have more use, and then it just becomes something that I've seen a lot of people not really care about what's happening just because they want to claim that as this is our country kind of thing, which is a very, very strange thing. So, what, in your personal, hopefully unbiased opinion, what's the situation in Venezuela like today in regards to cryptocurrencies?
Well, I, I want to start by saying that I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
about the unfairness, because it's like an ego thing that many people, many leaders had. And well, this is not beneficial for anyone except from the team that talks about this. But the truth is that, or at least the truth I perceive, since I cannot be a judge for everyone, and I can't talk about an absolute truth. But what I believe it's what happened in Venezuela is that we have two phenomena that constantly collide in the crypto world. Um, the first, and which I feel is positive, is the actual fungibility and the actual contribution of Dash as a currency, with obviously deflationary trend and no international barriers, all these amazing stuff we know about Dash, as a currency, as an actual currency, not just as a cryptocurrency. And so this gives an actual solution to a real problem that exists in Venezuela. This is an absolute true. Venezuela has a problem, and Dash and the cryptocurrencies could solve it. Okay, this is obviously because of many factors, like the reduced purchasing power of the people who earn in the local currency, the bolivares, and the market contraction of more than, if I'm not wrong, 30%
Mm-hmm.
every year, the international policies and embargoes, um, the national government system, the hyperinflation. I mean, there are so many factors. Venezuela right now is on its way to its seventh year in a row with a decrease on its gross domestic product, and of about 7%, I guess. And I think this is the first main factor that affects the market here, and of which we are going to talk later. But on the other hand, we have a second point that's not so positive, and which is the existence and the creation of a national digital asset. And this is where I believe the main issue here, because the Petro, maybe many people doesn't know what it is, but the Petro is a fake cryptocurrency, is a digital asset invented by the government. And I mean fake crypto because it breaks every fundamental pillar of cryptocurrencies. I mean, not just one, but every one of them. So
Yes.
it can't be considered as a cryptocurrency in the full meaning of the world. So the people here is practically forced. I mean, the public employees and the retired people is forced to get the petrol in its wallets and in their pockets, even if they don't want it. So this is why many people say that Dash is a crypto country, is a crypto nation, and
Mm-hmm.
they claim to be more evolved than other countries, and they said we have a lot of adoption. And okay, that's true. We have many teams. We are doing great efforts,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not something that we can actually uh, say it's our merit, our credit. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a thing that's happening right now, and we can take advantage of it. Yes, we can, and we should, in fact, because it's an opportunity for adoption. It's an opportunity for solving an actual problem here. But we have to leave the egos aside. We have to just think of how the cryptos can help the people. I would love, actually, to love to see more people like Joel Valenzuela saying on Twitter, "I'm living out of crypto and I'm just on cryptos." And I can do whatever I want. I'm paid in Dash. I'm paying whatever crypto I want. Even if it was the Petro, I wouldn't have any problem if this actually solved people problems. But it's not happening, and Dash do have the opportunity to do it, and that's why we are trying to break the barriers of saying that Dash Help is saving people or
Mm-hmm.
Dash Text has invented a revolutionary payment system. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's Dash that's trying uh, to help the market itself. And Dash Mall and Parking attacked and solved one particular issue in Venezuela. That's the parking things and the lack of cash to make this kind of payments, and that's why they are doing so good. We right now in Caracas are trying to make also big integrations. I'm sure we're gonna talk about this a bit later, and but the truth is that we have an opportunity here to make things different, and we have to do it right. We have to make some sort of coalition and work all together. I'm really happy when I see and I hear guys like Ernesto Contreras, guys like you, guys like Ryan Taylor say that Dash is in Venezuela to solve a problem and
Mm-hmm.
not just as a marketing stuff. You know, it's not the same as sending a guy to Venezuela and to say, "Hey, I'm gonna solve the problem with my team, and I'm gonna make them accept Bitcoin Cash as a payment method, and they were going to send remittances everywhere." That's not. I don't see that feasible. I believe we have to be honest with ourselves and with the community internationally, and understand that the truth is we have to just follow what people needs. And what
Mm-hmm.
people needs right now it's education. People needs to understand how this thing works. We need to simplify the process. We actually need dash text to show people that doesn't even have access to internet. In Venezuela happens a lot, or that even doesn't have a smartphone. So with dash text you can send them actually a text message uh, with a fee of 84 bolivares. That's way less than a cent. And
Yeah. There's a little fraction of this, right?
yeah,
Very
that's
small.
that's awful. That
Mm-hmm.
bill you had there doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even work. It's worthless. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the ink you needed to produce that money, that bill, is a lot more expensive than the actual value of the bills itself. So Dash solves these kind of problems, but you can't just um, drop all this information, all these concepts to the people like, hey, here you go. You have Dash now and use it. It's not that simple. We have to change the whole mindset. We have to explore deeper and go beyond the basics. So and that's why I believe I'm convinced we need to focus right now into education. We have to focus into showing actual usage. We have to start by giving this kind of little baby steps, as we did with Dingo, as we did with Dash Text, as we did with Dash Mall, Dash Help, and then believe in something bigger like a Dash Nation. But we have to start to learn to walk before trying to run.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing during the entire, um, I guess, news cycle when the crypto world started to talk about Venezuela, first, I noticed that people were saying they were using any country with hyperinflation as a hypothetical example, saying, look how well Bitcoin could work in a country like this. That was the start of the conversation. And for a while, it seemed like the only actual conversation of something happening in the country was Dash related, was saying that, oh, there's the Dash people say that they're doing stuff there. And then more recently, like last year or so, there have been some people in the Bitcoin community who've said, "Oh, that's all a scam. It's not happening there. People are only using Bitcoin. It's just a couple people they gave money to, and that's it. They're only using Bitcoin." And I've heard from other people who are more level-headed in between that just say, to be honest, most people there isn't a huge amount of usage for payments, just like there isn't anywhere in the world. There's some and there's more, and it's mostly in Dash. But people still tend to buy Bitcoin more for an investment to just hold on to it. And so it's mostly like Bitcoin first for buying and holding, and then Dash is second. Then it's more used than Bitcoin for payments. Does that sentiment seem accurate, or how does Dash's use compare to other cryptocurrencies in Venezuela from what you've been able to see?
Yeah. Um, um, we know, uh, I mean, the crypto world know that many cryptocurrencies fan have tried to implement their own favorite crypto in Venezuela. I mean, by
Mm-hmm.
going door by door, offering whatever crypto as a payment method. Some are real, and some other as are just scams. Like an
Mm-hmm.
example, I want to mention it, Auricoin. That's a terrible scam, and I know many people have fallen into this, and they have lost their money. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, the truth is that only Dash has a real community and has a real workforce in Venezuela. Uh, this is the main difference I see here. The rest are just like mostly, I would like to say, like self-service initiatives. It's like, I don't know, I have a business and I don't want to depend on the only on US dollars, or I don't have a US dollar account, since in Venezuela there are many regulation on the creation of of foreign accounts and foreign currency accounts. So I'm afraid to the government could actually sorry, to actually
Mm-hmm.
block or intercept my money. So what should I do? Oh, I go to Google and I search digital money, and then I read about Bitcoin, because the first one, or about Bitcoin Cash, which is pretty close, and
Mm-hmm.
or even the hideous Litecoin.
Yeah,
but
of course. It's been around for a
but
long time.
yeah, too much. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, they just don't know there are better alternatives, and and obviously now it's even worse with Dash being so far from the top five coins,
Mm-hmm.
unfairly, in my opinion. But no, that's where the way it is right now. So the process is lower. It's pretty slow right now with this kind of business people, with this kind of guys that already know how finances work, and but um, as soon as you show, this is a true also, as soon as you show anybody the advantages of Dash, but actually showing them, I mean, making a transaction, sending an SMS, making a payment, whatever, showing the fees, the low fees, the instantly respendable ability of Dash, I don't know, all these cool features Dash has. Um, the, I mean,
They
The guys,
understand
the
after
people,
they
yeah,
see it.
the people say just like, oh, I didn't know this was possible. I thought the less I could pay for a transaction in cryptos was $1 or maybe $2, like in Bitcoin, I don't know.
Hmm.
And I didn't know that I could actually spend instantly the money I just received. I thought I had to wait 10 transactions or confirmation, sorry, 10
Hmm.
confirmation or six confirmation. And um, just to throw some numbers, no, and I'm not talking specifically of a cryptocurrency in particular, but
Hmm.
most of the cryptos we know that are in top five doesn't have the same usability and fungibility Dash has.
Hmm.
So right now with this almost apocalyptic situation with the virus, and we haven't stopped for a minute, and many people is becoming more and more aware about cryptocurrencies. But I believe the main difference is we as a Dash community are not selling Dash as the only option. We are
Hmm.
just selling it as the better option. You may have Bitcoin, don't worry about it. Just hold it or use it whatever you want, your digital gold if you
Hmm.
wish. I don't know, your safe box, whatever. But what we say, I know it's like the speech of every project leader and the speech of every salesperson from the Dash community here is to use Dash because it's cheap. It allows you to break international barriers, and it's instantly. You don't have to wait for anything or anyone, and that's a solution that Venezuela doesn't know for many years. You
Hmm.
showed a few minutes ago a bill of 500 bolivares. That thing is useless here. I don't know
Of
if you have
course.
seen. There are plenty of videos of people throwing away the bills, those pieces of paper, of useless pieces of papers, also burning them in the streets and the garbage containers. That's terrible for a currency to actually see that it doesn't work. It's just garbage.
Hmm.
And with Dash, we are offering community, the community Dash, as we say, as we have
Hmm.
named.
Of course.
uh, we are offering an alternative. Just don't burn those useless bolivares. Just do not depend on rely completely on the dollars, since I know there are also several problems with accepting dollars in Venezuela. Uh, the main ones are an example that the bills are too old, or maybe a little bit broken, a little bit scratched. So business people here doesn't want them, and
Yeah.
since they feel or think they will not be able to deposit that kind of bills inside their bank's account or through an ATM outside the country, which is wrong. Since I had the pleasure to visit the USA and many other countries in the world. And the truth is, if you have a bill that's really, really bad, you go to the cashier and say, hey, this is my bill. Please change it to another one, a better one, or
Hmm.
just deposit inside my account. And they do it. But in Venezuela, that doesn't happen. You can go with a perfectly usable $100 bills or a $1 bill, whatever,
Hmm.
and that has a little mark on a corner, just a little. And they
Hmm.
say, no, I cannot receive this bill because it's marked or it's wrong. And what do you say to the people that's trying to buy maybe a gallon of milk
Of
or
course.
whatever they buy, some medicine, and the pharmacy says to you, no, I can accept that bill. So go ahead, change it, or I don't know, go whatever
Yeah.
you want to do with that bill, but not pay to, do not pay me with that. And with Dash, that doesn't happen. That it will never happen. Also,
Yeah, that's a great point about the difference with cash. And the only reason why people are probably using dollars in Venezuela is because it works as a currency, yet they can't use it digitally. They can't use it in bank accounts and things as easily, and so they have to do the paper ones, and then the paper ones don't work. So when we're talking about merchant adoption, I remember back in the day there were thousands of merchants, individual smaller merchants that were signed up to take Dash payments, and that was thought to be the next step that gets everyone to use this, is if there's a bunch of small merchants that take it. And that proved to be not entirely effective. It wasn't, the most effective thing. And now I see a lot of approach towards going after large chains of things, like, for example, the Traki stores, going after those stores. And but then now I've more recently noticed delivery services like Pido and Dingo, and it seems like just from those two stores, those two services, now that enabled almost anything. Has this been a conscious shift in strategy? Has this been on purpose? You think we need to change something, let's go after that? And also, what do you think is the next step after going after broad-based delivery services like that?
so I agree completely with you, and I
Hmm.
would have to say that it is a well thought change. This is a strategy change. I
Hmm.
believe the first necessary step in this kind of crypto moon landing we are
Hmm.
here is to offer the community real solutions. And that's exactly what Dingo and Pido are. They're not just some random store in some random place in Venezuela that
Hmm.
accept this crypto and that's maybe listed on some website that just a few bunch of people know or are aware of it.
Hmm.
Instead, Dingo and Pido are big uh, solution service providers, and this is going to change the path of the adoption because I mean, I would like to say just how happy, how excited we were, Lorenzo and I, when he told me that he was trying to reach Dingo and to try to partner also
Hmm.
in this mission because I'm sure you're aware of it, but maybe some of our audience is not. But is worth mentioning that Dash Text and Dash Help, I mean, Lorenzo and I are partners also in many projects, and
Hmm.
we are true believers in teamwork and well, I almost went crazy about the excitement when I knew we were just about to um, affiliate. Maybe it's not the right word, but to provide Dingo a
Hmm.
solution for them to provide to the community in Venezuela, uh, because we right now um, with this particular third party, in this case Dingo, of course, we are helping all those people that doesn't actually know how Dash works, how Dash can be acquired, and where, particularly where we can spend Dash. So you just have to say to Dingo, hey, I want whatever I want, since they can bring you anything you want. I know
Hmm.
the last podcast you also made a joke about it, but it's the
Hmm.
truth. You can
Yeah.
actually ask for whatever you want, and Dingo can bring it to you. So you just have to contact Dash Help. An example, like a roadmap of what you have to do to complete the process of a purchase with Dingo and with Dash. You just have to call Dash Help and say, "Hey, I read about Dingo. I heard about Dingo. How can I ask my Nutella from whatever place I like? with Dash because I want to also take advantage of the free delivery we are offering right
Mm-hmm.
now. And you say, okay, that's perfect. Just give me your bolivares and I give you some Dash so you can pay with Dash, feel this experience, this exciting experience. And this actually happened. Some guy called us and said, "Hey, I want to buy $10 of Dash." Yeah, okay, that's perfect. That were about 2 million bolivares, of course. This
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous number of bolivares
It's a lot.
just to have, yeah, just to have a single bill of dollars. So this guy actually made a purchase, and then just like a week later, contacted us again and said, "Okay, I'm ready for this. I just want to buy some real Dash." And then we explained to him how he could register inside an exchange to complete the
Mm-hmm.
KYC, the AML policies, etc. And then this is a fan of Dash. Actually, now makes pretty much all the purchases in Dash because he actually felt the utility, the fungibility of the currency,
Mm-hmm.
and and that's what we needed. We needed to offer a possibility to spend this awesome digital currency because otherwise you leave it only in theory, and the theory just is just for scientists. We are not scientists. We are not professors in the university. We are people that want to use the money on daily basis purchases, and Dingo, Pido, and all these services we are surely be make them join the Dash community are going to be are going to revolutionize the way Dash is working in Venezuela. Uh, there's then another side on the story, and that's I think the next step we have to make is it's related to big brand names. We need that those big international brands, like I don't know, in Venezuela there's one very popular. It's not that international, but it is in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Empresas Polar. I don't know if you know about it. Okay, we need that. Polar said they accept cryptos. They
Mm-hmm.
embrace cryptos. That's what people want. They want to transfer the trust in big company names they already know. They doesn't actually want to deposit their trust and their money in something they haven't heard on TV. They haven't heard on the radio. Maybe they haven't heard
Yeah.
at all. So instead, we have heard everyone in the world have heard about McDonald's, have heard about Burger King, about Polar, about all these kind of big brand names. And I think this is the next step we have to make. We have to, as Traki, in example, this was a great example you made. And Traki was a big deal here in Venezuela
Mm-hmm.
because it's one of the biggest, actually the biggest business for retail store in Venezuela. And when they said they accepted cryptos, many people didn't believe it at all. They said, "What crypto? What? No, I can't believe this is happening here." And then they went and saw the point of sale, the digital point of sale, and said, "Oh, it's true." Ah, so that's what we need right now. We need more McDonald's. We need more Burger Kings. We need more of these brand names saying, at least, if not personally or directly, because the truth is that in Venezuela, McDonald's doesn't accept crypto. Burger King doesn't accept. Well, one Burger King, yes. We're
Mm-hmm.
trying to work with Burger King, but for the moment is just one of Burger King branches, the one in Sanbil, the Sanbil Mall, but the other ones doesn't accept cryptos right now directly. But they do accept cryptos as a way of payment through a third party, in this case, Pido and
Mm-hmm.
Dingo. So therefore, you can say you can buy McDonald's with Dash, not directly to McDonald's, but you can buy McDonald's. I asked yesterday a pizza to Pizza Hut, which doesn't accept Dash, but I paid in Dash since I paid with Dingo, and Dingo paid them in whatever the currency they accepted. So I believe this is a natural step on the process. I believe at some point, some manager at Pizza Hut, in example, is going to say, "Wait, how we did receive this payment? Did just a delivery guy came here and paid us? How that happened? Oh no, that's Dingo, and they accept cryptos. What? They accept what? Yeah, they accept Dash. Oh, Dash. Let me learn a bit. Let me read a little bit about this." And then they go to the internet and write "qué es Dash," which means what's
Yes.
Dash in Spanish, and they find the Dash Help, which is a project in Venezuela, and they find Dash Text, and they find Dash Mall, and they find also the official website, and then there's a trust. It creates trust on these businesses, and they say, that's true that exists a community. It's not just a scam. It's not just a random name around the cyberspace. And that's what we're trying to achieve right now. Dash Mall actually had achieved a portion of this thanks to Pido. We in Caracas are achieving a portion as well thanks to Dingo. I'm sure with this thing of uh, the name slipped, but Megasoft,
Yeah.
it came. Megasoft, which is a main provider of point of sale services in Venezuela. They have over 20,000 businesses affiliated. So when these kind of people say, okay, we are open to cryptos, use it if you want, then people actually is going to start wanting to see what a cryptocurrency is. And I think this is coming. And I think this is coming in the short term, precisely. And this is going to be pretty interesting right now. I think we are about to see a new phase on the adoption process. Uh, Hopefully, I mean, maybe I'm just being super optimistic. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm being just realistic. But the truth is that we're making this step, and we need to keep taking these small steps, but along with big names. That's what Dash needs right now. Dash needs that on Twitter, names like, again, McDonald's or Pido or Dingo say they are working with cryptos. And we need to make people understand that believers are not a solution anymore or right now. Maybe in the future things change. Maybe the government goes, changes also, and the believers become stronger as the dollar. Okay, let's hope. I cross my fingers. But we know that in the medium term, that's not going to happen. Instead, Dash in the short term can provide these solutions. I just want to give you an anecdote, maybe, uh,
Okay.
if we can say it that way.
Yeah.
When we start talking in Dash Help to people about the staking possibility in cryptos, uh, people were crazy, and everywhere, and everyone wanted to know about this service. That was actually a boom, because maybe many communities and people of the first world uh, could not feel like the actually potential of staking in cryptos, because they could feel that a 7% monthly interest, it's not worth it because of the lots of work we have to do to get this 7%. Oh, I have to
Yeah.
change my fiat currencies. Oh, I have dollars. Why should I get Dash to just get a 7% when I can invest my dollars in whatever business and I get a lot more? But the truth is that in Venezuela, savings accounts are not an alternative anymore. That the bank's account doesn't even open savings account anymore. Credit cards have disappeared in Venezuela because
Mm,
Bolivar is not awarded for as a saving method. So
yeah.
the banks don't commit to this, and they just say, well, we have cuentas corrientes, which is
Hmm.
uh, the type of account, the not saving one,
It's like a checking account.
checking. Yeah, exactly,
Hmm.
checking accounts. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Um, there exists just the checking account, and when you said that you can actually earn a 7% again, like some banks did years ago, many years ago, people get excited and say, oh, I want to know about this. And here Venezuelan public employees and most of the population actually earns about $5 monthly as a wage, as a salary. I mean, $5. When you go
Yeah,
to purchase something, you see 500 grams of pasta costs about 150, and you say, okay, I have $5, so for the whole month I can buy 1.5 kilos of pasta. hmm
it's
That
not
doesn't
very
sound
much.
right. Yeah, that doesn't sound right, and people actually have is struggling right now. So with this 7% interest, I'm just saying a number. Now we know
Yeah,
there are many platforms that offer more or less 7%, whatever. Um, but the truth is that you could earn a few cents more, and those few cents are, for many, are are salvation maybe.
of course.
So this is what we need to focus on. We need to keep providing new solutions to people. This staking things was, as I said, um, an amazing feature in Venezuela.
Hmm.
Many people want to know about this.
Yeah.
So the cryptos could actually take advantage of it and say, okay, internationally staking maybe is not the favorite solution on the exchanges on this
Yeah,
stuff,
it is very
but Venezuela
popular
is.
these days. I've seen
Oh
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of people talk about staking. It's not necessarily the only super popular thing because people have other options, but when they're thinking, "Oh, I can stake my coins," and that's why there's already a few exchanges that are facilitating Dash staking because for Dash you need 1,000 units of Dash, which is a lot of money anywhere in the world, but especially in Venezuela, if you try to get a group of people together, it's probably difficult. And so right now, unfortunately, you need some sort of service to get it all together and make it work. But when you can do that, that should be pretty pretty useful. I do know some people are working on some less trusted solutions, some ways that it's easier. You don't have to trust someone like a bank for helping that with Dash, but hopefully we get something like that. So it seems like the big the way forward would be getting large retailers, just big names that people trust, more services like Pila and Dingo that when you use them, you have access to lots of merchants. So it's not just, oh, I can go buy coffee at this spot, but nowhere else. It's like, no, they're big ones. And then the staking. And then those are the three big ones that we're waiting for. That once we get all those together, a lot of people will start, provided they have the education, a lot of people will start getting involved.
yeah. I truly believe this is the way to do, the way to go. I'm sorry. And
Hmm.
nevertheless, there's another truth here in Venezuela, and that is that the real market for cryptocurrencies here is still on the upper class.
Mm.
The those that do not depend on a minimum wage, on those
Yes, of
five
course.
dollar we were talking about later. I'm sorry, earlier,
Hmm.
but maybe in the future, and thanks to all these new features we are trying to introduce to Venezuela, hopefully also services, different services, adopting Dash and Dash Text, doing all this stuff could work like a manner to attract the lower classes too. But
Mm,
for now, that's not happening. That's the truth. Right now, it's really complicated to actually say some random guy who earns a minimum wage to change that few believers they receive to another thing, because they are so attached to that believers they receive that they actually afraid of losing money.
mm-hmm,
When you say the Dash and cryptos fluctuates, they are just terrified. You can see their faces. They
mm-hmm.
become like, oh no, wait, I could lose 1%. No, 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 I cannot risk that. And that's why I believe the staking alternative could work very well as well.
All right. Well, this has been a very enlightening chat. Where can people go to find more about your work?
Sure. We are about everywhere.
Hmm.
People can find us like at dash help me. We
Mm-hmm.
have also a website, www.help.io,
Mm-hmm.
helpme.io. I'm sorry. And we have also Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We are in Reddit as well. We have WhatsApp. We have Telegram. We have a lot
Mm-hmm.
of places in which we are available to talk, to also to see different perspectives as well, because we are open to receive feedback from outside
Mm-hmm.
the niche. Maybe we are sometimes inside the box, and we are not seeing the outside the box. So we will be more than happy to receive as many feedback as possible. And I love being here with you today. And this is great. This is actually great to have the opportunity to spread my word and to spread what's happening in Venezuela right now.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Well, thanks very much for being on here. And yeah, I'm sure we'll talk again later.